Yes, good morning, everybody. We are going to start with business English with negotiation skills today. Now, negotiation skills are very important in business because there are many areas where negotiations have to happen. So, the negotiations can be called as a way of resolving disputes. It is considered as being synonymous to settlement, agreement, collaboration, and bargaining. It takes place almost in all spheres of life, be it business, personal circumstances, married life, parenting, etc., legal procedures, government matters, etc. Negotiation can be defined as a channel of communication intended to reconcile differences between parties and to settle conflict jointly. The parties aim at achieving a win-win position. So see, everywhere negotiations can happen. Even in married life, sometimes you may have to settle certain differences. Maybe at certain junctures of life, maybe your parents itself might have taken certain important decisions by arriving at certain conclusions. Maybe both of them, suppose both of them work, then might be difficult for them to look after maybe two children or three children. So one of them may have to make a sacrifice. So like this, there will be lots of negotiations happening in married life, in parenting, in businesses. And because of this, business negotiations require a lot of homework, such as asking what is the need for negotiation, who all are involved, what are their viewpoints, what are your aims, what is expected from negotiation. So many things that you need to think about before going for a negotiation meeting. Negotiation involves minimum of two parties. The aim of negotiation is understood by both parties. The parties are willing to arrive at a mutually agreeable outcome. The outcome is acceptable to both parties. There are certain do's and don'ts in the case of negotiations. So this is very important. In negotiation, both parties they understand that at one point of time they have to come to a minimum decision. So maybe I might be, let's say, a land deal where I want to sell this land for maybe 10 lakhs percent, suppose. Another party wants to buy it only at 8 lakhs percent. So 10 lakhs and 8 lakhs. So there has to, now we are coming on a negotiating table. Negotiating table means there's no place like that, but we are maybe sitting at a cafe, or maybe we are sitting face to face in the house, and then we start talking. Maybe there might be a broker in between. Or suppose there is no broker, both of us arrive at a place and we start our discussion. I say I want 10 lakhs for the land. You say I can give you only 8 lakhs. Then we start discussing about the pros and cons. And at one point of time, ultimately, maybe we both will agree for 8.5 lakhs percent or 9 lakhs percent, whatever, depending on. Suppose you don't want to sell, you become very stubborn and you say, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to negotiate with you. That also can happen. But at the same time, suppose you come to a negotiating table, then it is understood that you will arrive at a mutually agreeable understanding between both of you. So, there are certain do's and don'ts that you need to look into. One, do not discuss too many issues. Emphasize on prior issues. You don't take your old story and bring it out. Today, we are at the table, we are at the negotiating table because you want to buy the land, I want to sell the land. Now, you don't talk about long ago when you said that you have some other stories. Don't talk. So don't emphasize on prior issues. What is the point that you are going now? You want to negotiate for the land. You want to either sell or you want to buy. So let's see. Number two, be honest and straightforward. Don't get carried away by rumors. So that person said like this. Rumors, rumor mongering is one of the greatest things, and that should not happen in a negotiation. Then never give deadlines. It might lead to delays in deals. So don't say, okay, tomorrow morning I will. You say, I let me think about it, and I will give you an answer within 10 days, something like that. Within 10 days. Within 10 days is not a deadline. I mean, of course there is a deadline, but at the same time, it can happen on the second day. It can happen on the third day. Then keep away personal differences. Just focus on arguments on facts. So don't, maybe you will have certain things that you might want to have in a, let's say, a land deal, but at the same time keep away personal differences. Suppose you might be angry at that particular person, but that is different. In business, there is no anger. In business, you are negotiating because you want to transact something, you want to give something, or you want to buy something. Keep on giving recaps during the negotiation process. Avoid being rigid. Listen to the other party's viewpoint if valid. So keep on giving recaps. So you will understand that yesterday I talked to you about that land, and that land I told you that it has a border. The border is let's say fenced, or there is a well inside. There is a water source inside the land. And this is exactly why I say that I want 10 lakhs for it. So the other person will have another argument for it. Yeah, but water source we can get from cooperation. So I really don't need the water source. So I will not be able to pay you this much. Instead, I will be able to pay you only 8 lakhs %. So like this, you are negotiating this side, that side, but don't be rigid. Listen to the other party's viewpoint if valid. So he may have his, he or she may have their viewpoint. So maybe they'll say, I wouldn't be able to give you all the money also now. I'll, instead of 8 lakhs, I'll give you 9 lakhs, but you must give me a time. I will give you, let's say 5 lakhs now, and the next 4 lakhs I'll be able to give you only after 6 months. So like this, you listen to their arguments, you listen to their viewpoint, and if it is valid, you can accept it. You can give testimonials for your arguments, support your arguments with facts. Business deals, this is very important. Let's say now the road is being constructed, the bypass. If you have gone through the bypass, I'm sure you will know that the bypass, certain places, certain houses have been, sliced. Certain entry to certain institutions have been closed, and they need to look into another way to get in. So there'll be so many problems, but then because of progress, you might have to sacrifice certain things. Now, I don't say that sacrificing is a good thing, because some people, once they sacrifice their lives, maybe they may not be even able to build another house. So such things can also happen. I know that. But at the same time, a good business deal will involve both parties to come at a table and then start negotiations. So don't make demands which can't be accepted at all. So, but the 10 lakhs land, don't say I can sell it only if I get 15 lakhs for it, because that is unrealistic. Then don't let emotions overwhelm you. Don't be angry. If at all the other person is angry, you say, okay, if you are angry, we'll do one thing. Let us stop the deal. Let us not discuss further. I don't think we will ever be able to come to a conclusion. So let us stop. That will be better. Be optimistic. Don't fear losing. There are opportunities in other transactions also. So suppose the party says, for this 10 lakhs, the party says, no, I can give you only 8 lakhs and I can't give you anything more. Then you have the option, because it's your land. Depending on the importance, whether you want the money immediately or not, you can say, it's okay, then we'll forget the deal. When you are thinking of a higher price, you may come back to me. Otherwise, presently we will stop, because there are opportunities in other transactions also. There might be a time when another person might come for that land with a higher price, but who knows? So these are certain things that you can do during negotiations. So negotiation is a way of resolving disputes, and this can happen in any place, in a legal procedure, in a government matter. I'm sure that many of you will have you would have done lots of negotiations, but then negotiations generally you your parents do the negotiations for the time being, but you are all getting of age now. Within 1 or 2 years, you will also have to start doing negotiations. And it is very critical, it is very important that when you negotiate, you should not be angry, you should not, honest, you should um, be, you should never be very rigid, you should not let emotions overtake you, and you must also be optimistic. These are certain points that you need to think about when doing a negotiation. Stop the recording.